Hi everyone, Steve Stahlberg here with pinup number 44. And I have a thunderstorm going on in the background, so just so you know what that noise is if it happens. This one's a bit different again. It's actually a second angle of view of another pinup I did back almost a year ago. That diesel punk witch on her flying V-twin cycle. Yeah, I'm aware it's not good tech to imagine a V-twin motor powering what seems to be a jet engine, but I just love my old Victory brand cruiser. Probably junk by now, as I had to leave it behind in the bankruptcy when I left America. And I also imagine that since she's a witch, she could use magic to do whatever the hell she likes. Here you can see some of the references I used. This is a photograph of my motorcycle. Quite nostalgic to me. The original logo I made for her jacket here, and this is the original image, which you'll see again later, or you can look it up somewhere. ArtStation, DeviantArt, and some references here. I'll start playing this back. There it is. That's the original image, and then we'll go a little close up here on my darling, and I start sketching. I'm going for a rear view now of the girl, so the bike will be side view. Yeah, my old lost bike, I spent way too much money on it. All the chrome and added accessories I could find, custom paint job, extra vintage rear lights and stuff, upgraded engine, 108 cubic inches, which is nearly 2,000 cubic centimeters. She had over 104 foot-pounds of torque in a fairly even curve from bottom up to about 3,000 RPM, 3,500. It was sweet. Maybe we can jump forward a bit. Because it's kind of boring to watch just drawing. Do some repositioning there, just to make sure that it fits inside the image. And there's the girl, the witch. Now I tried to keep everything very similar to the original image, though I think this area from here to here, the central area, I think it got stretched a little bit, necessarily so, because it just looks better this way, moving her around a little bit there. And I think also her position was a little bit more to the left in the original, but the aesthetics of each image takes precedence, so I need to look at this also. I have to make this one look good by itself. I can't just do everything just to make it gel with the other image. Addressing the background, which is concrete, basically concrete wall, concrete floor, with a sharp shadow on it from the sun, the strong sunshine that is being cast. The lighting pretty much coming from straight behind the camera, up and a bit to the right. And roughing in the bike now. Yeah, the drawing is very rough in this case. Sometimes I do a better drawing, like 2 passes or whatever is needed, but in this case I wasn't really planning to keep much of the drawing. I did in the original one. The original image I actually kept the lines around. Those were still rough, and that image has a different quality to it, more of a drawing that has been painted on. But this one I just wanted to do more painterly, less drawing, you know. Just to change it up a bit. I try to vary the techniques a little bit. My style is, I guess, is kind of set. It's not. I have experimented a little bit with style in the past, but recently I've been perhaps a bit too stuck in a certain style. Let's see what I can do about that. I'm not too concerned with style. I'm concerned with not being able to draw things properly, to paint things the way I want them to look. So if I was gonna do some training or experimenting, I would focus on that. Like in this case, for instance, I think I'm gonna have to focus on drawing cats for a while. The silhouette you see up there of this cat is not it's not carefully done. It was just done at a I was zoomed out at the moment when I did that lasso, so it's just completely wonky. Didn't really see that before, but that doesn't look good at all. But even so, later you'll see when I start applying some care to that cat, it's not really my thing. I'm not very good with cats, so yep, it's something I'm gonna have to work on. Well, there's a lot of things I'm not good at, but cats, I mean, I have cats. I should be able to do a little better job than what I did on this image, but that's what practice is for. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go search for cat images on the internet, which shouldn't be very difficult to find from what I've noticed in the past. I am working on the nacelle here. It's a bit of a cross between a propeller plane nacelle, engine nacelle, and the air intake of a jet. Didn't really plan it that way, it just happened. And here behind it we see the V-twins, the cylinders, and the a mass of tubes that I just did for the heck of it, to make it look cooler. They don't really have any function that I know about. I know that jet engines have a lot of pipes and tubes going this way and that, but yeah, there's no careful plan to those. Here I'm painting the tank. So starting off with the purple on one layer, the orange on one, and the red on one layer, and then even one more layer for the highlight here. Sort of build it up gradually like that. Later I collapse them down. Yeah, little jump there. I added the broomy hand-painted sort of legend that she wrote, probably wrote herself there on the tank. And these stripes obviously are the flanges, or the fins, the cooling fins on the cylinders, or the jugs as some people call them, the air cooling fins. Later I repositioned those lines to be fewer, more widely spaced and thicker. If you compare it to the end result, you'll see that, which is easy to do. I had them on a separate layer, so I just grabbed them and sort of stretched them vertically and cut off the bottom part that stuck out too long. Yeah, I'm splitting everything where it makes it easier for me. I split it into separate parts. The tank is on one layer, the nacelle is on another. Most of the bike was on a layer near the bottom, but a lot of parts like the tool bag there, the handlebars, and the pipes you'll see soon are in separate layers above that layer. And here I'm selecting the pipes. I guess I can jump a little bit. This is also tedious. And then start painting within the selection. I went back over this area several times. It's quite tricky. It's not as easy as it seems, as it might seem. It's a single color, single material, just basically tubes, cylindrical shapes, but they're bent, and the shape is a little more complex than might first be apparent. And I couldn't make them look too new either. They had to look used. They had to look like, I don't know, not like a rat bike exactly, but well used, you know. And this area, I know from experience, gets quite dirty. It's where all the heat happens and all the road dust happens, and presumably she flies through the air, but still she might conceivably do a lot of hovering near the surface, going real fast along a ground. I jumped on the tool bag there and finished that without recording, and now I'm copying this cylinder over to create the other one. And after the copying, as I said before, I changed the distance on the flanges, so I actually copied this one more time later. And but same principle. What I did then, what I'm doing now, is change the reflections on the second one so that they become logical within the world with regards to the lighting and the perspective. Yeah, chrome is a bit tricky also to do. Lots of shiny surfaces here. Chrome and glass and metal. And shiny paint. But it's fun too, it's a fun challenge. And actually easier than fur for me. I really hate fur. And that cat there. Now back to the tank. I'm warping the flames to fit the original design a little more, because it was a bit roughly done at first and I missed out some details, and it's not smooth enough, and they're a bit too thick towards the end there, so I thinned them out. Adding some extra details. And the cat. Oh, I hate painting cats. I suck so badly at it. And as I said, I even have cats. I've had cats for years. After this bad experience, I've decided to do some focused training on cat drawing, like I mentioned. And I'm gonna start today. I'm gonna go looking for cat images and just do some studies. It's the only way to improve. I did manage to get this particular beast looking a little better towards the end, but it's still not great or even good. The original drawing is slightly better too, but still not that good. It's passable because it's a bit more cartoony with an outline on it. This one, where I tried to go more painterly, obviously it's even more difficult to do that. So I took a break from the cat and went to the girl instead. And also, as I go, I keep erasing parts of the sketch that I don't need anymore. Sometimes I keep and refine the sketch, but not this time. As I mentioned, it's a very rough sketch. See, I have a little easier time with human anatomy than cat anatomy. Obviously, because I've spent, obviously has to be because I've spent like 20 or 30 years just drawing human anatomy. So yeah, you know, if you're wondering how to get better at something, I mean, that's the way to do it. Just keep doing it. But I read an article about that too, and there's another important ingredient to just keep doing it. You gotta change it up a little bit sometimes. You can do, if you do the exact same thing over and over and over and over. It's the same as bodybuilding. When you're bodybuilding, you gotta change it up too, because your muscle gets used to certain movements and stops growing, stops responding by growth, by showing growth, and you gotta sort of catch it unawares. You gotta hit it from a different angle all of a sudden, like something unexpected. Throw unexpected stuff at it. So with me, in this case, unexpected is gonna be suddenly I'm drawing cats instead of people. That's, you know, that's gonna. I know I'm gonna improve quickly within the next within the first week or so, within the first few days or week or 2 weeks or whatever. You notice some improvement, and then it's gonna level off. Then you got to do something different. You got to hit it with some, I don't know, maybe I'll go to lions or tigers or something after house cats. You know, just keep doing something that you didn't do before. Maybe you've heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results. It's kind of like that. That's the logo on her jacket there. That just happened. I just grabbed it from, I had it before from the original image and just fitted it to this different position. By the way, there's going to be a her diaper thing there is on a layer, so if you really want to have a not safe for work version, there's you just have to hide that layer. It's an option for those who want. It's supposed to be a pin-up after all. Refining the logo by shading it a little bit to sort of fit more into the jacket. Give it a little thickness too by doubling the layer of the logo. Just copying it, duplicate the layer, and then move the bottom layer down just like 2 pixels or so and darken it, creating like a darker edge to it. And then the hair, just real simple. I added some more detail later, but that's basically dark hair is easier to draw than blonde hair or red hair or brown, lighter colored hair. Trying to add some interest to the texture in the jacket, some realistic sort of feeling to the texture of the jacket. Adding her tools there. The tools on the ground. I have to fill in the back of the bike because she is casting shadow on the portion to the left here, but the portion to the right is in sunlight, so I needed to brighten it up. And since this part isn't really visible in the original image, I had to make some stuff up. And I did a little jump there. There's the finished version, and as you can see, I added some sharpening. I improved the cat a little bit. I used the original, the original as a guide there. This is not a good cat still. I will work on that. But I'm kind of happy with the engine. You know, I wouldn't mind riding this bike myself. It's okay. I guess I could have worked more on the back part here. But then again, if this part is too contrasty and detailed, it would kind of distract and detract from the main focus area, which should be in the more towards the center. Anyway, thanks for watching and for supporting. See you again next month.